In today's world, writing about the virtues of brotherhood, without mentioning the feminine aspect of sisterhood, seems to be politically incorrect. Unfortunately, those with high attachment to political correctness will often sacrifice accuracy in communication for what feels good to their emotional body. In presenting this principle, one must realize that there is a big difference between brotherhood and sisterhood, especially as it is used in esoteric teachings. The word brotherhood is inclusive and sisterhood is not. When one writes of sisterhood, he or she is only including the female gender and their positive interplay and connection. There is nothing wrong with this, as often such a word is needed to accurately communicate this special aspect of female relations. Now, it is true that brotherhood does at times refer to the opposite polarity of meaning. Depending on the context of the writing, it will sometimes be clear that the writer is using the word only in reference to the male gender. However, when writing from a spiritual perspective, the words brother and especially brotherhood often are inclusive and refers to human beings of either sex. Many of the great female spiritual teachers of this age have avoided using sisterhood and used brother and brotherhood in an inclusive way to include all people of all races and both sexes. Mary Baker Eddy, who founded Christian Science, used brotherhood to include both sexes because, as she taught, both males and females are part of the one mind of God, not two minds. Helena Blavatsky and Alice A. Bailey, who popularized theosophy and the ancient wisdom, both considered themselves part of a great brotherhood, not a sisterhood. Their writings even refer to themselves as brothers. In more recent times, we come to Helen Schucman, who penned A Course in Miracles, one of the most influential spiritual books of our age. The terms brother and brotherhood are stressed throughout as an inclusive concept that applies to all. Even though it is politically correct to acknowledge both sexes in all that is written for the masses, such an effort would not only be fruitless, but detract from the pure teachings given out to spiritual seekers. When it doesn't interfere with the context, you can occasionally throw in terms such as brothers and sisters, he or she, and brotherhood and sisterhood, but the readers of spiritual teachings must realize that brother and brotherhood refers not to the male gender, but to a spiritual recognition that we are all from the same source and should look upon each other as family and friends. The problem in adapting to the politically correct crowd is that there has been no word created to replace brotherhood. Something like humanityhood sounds silly and still has the word man in it. Stating brotherhood and sisterhood each time the view is expressed is wordy and not accurate, for sisterhood is not an inclusive word. That said, let us put in words the true principle of brotherhood. The principle of brotherhood, in the true spiritual sense, recognizes that we are all from the same source and the one God dwells in each of us, whether we are male or female, black or white, or of any belief system. A spiritual brother is another soul like ourselves, who is traveling the path of return, moving through many lifetimes of both sexes and many races and types of individuals. In the end, each of us have been all things to all people. The understanding and application of true love and brotherhood is the saving grace that finally redeems us from the lower nature.